Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Colin Cole. Welcome to the ADSN Sports Show. I'm here talking to guys about the Super Bowl week. We are here in Super Bowl week, and I'm talking to guys about their experience during that week and what that week leading up to the big game was like. Today, I'm joined by Green Bay Packer Cullen Jenkins. Jenkins, welcome to the
Hey,
show, man.
what's up, Colin, man? Thanks for having me on.
Hey man, thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate you spending some time with us today. Talk to us a little bit about that week of the Super Bowl, what that week was like leading up to the game. You know what that season was like for you, all that good stuff, man.
Well, it was an amazing journey that year. Just the way everything unfolded for us, from barely getting into the playoffs. We went in as a sixth seed that year, and so we were the underdogs the whole journey. And you know, on the road, we prided ourselves on being the road warriors out there, and it was an amazing experience for the team to come together the way it did, and the success that we were able to you know, for us.
So take us back a little bit to that week, getting into once you guys won that NFC Championship game against the Bears, and you know you're going to the Super Bowl. You have 2 weeks to plan. What was that? What was that time like? Kind of getting yourself prepared to get down to Texas, I believe it was. And what was that week like once you got down there?
I think having the 2 weeks in between, from the NFC Championship game or the AFC Championship game, whichever side drawn to the Super Bowl, I think it was key and important for us because it kind of gives you a week to kind of, realize what has happened and what you're about to go into, and you can settle down your nerves a little bit instead of jumping right from the championship. So that first week was kind of key, get everything together, figure out family things and right before the trip down there. But once you get down there, man, it's just like, amazing. It's eye-opening experience, from the media day to just the atmosphere in the city, walking into the team hotel and seeing how they've done the whole team hotel for you, and, pictures on the wall of all the players. It was amazing. But the one bad thing about it was we were in Dallas, Texas, and it was an ice storm. It was an ice storm like the whole week. And we was like, man, we could have stayed in Green Bay for this.
That's crazy. So y'all brought y'all weather with y'all down to Dallas and just decided to have bring the whole Green Bay experience with you.
Apparently we did. Apparently.
Well, good thing that you guys were playing in the dome, so y'all didn't have to play the game outside in the snow.
Yeah. Yeah, now that's a fact right there because it was way too cold that time of year to be trying to be playing any game outside. So we definitely enjoyed it being in an inside game where they could.
So in y'all's game, you guys played against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What was that matchup like for you? And take us through that game and some of the memories that you have from actually playing in that game.
I think the biggest memory I have was the prep we had for that week, with Dom Capers being our defensive coordinator, who actually just came out here to Detroit. I just got hired out here with the Lions. But it was a weird feeling for a defense. And I know you know this because many times we played together, and we would have to pride ourselves on being decoys some game, for other players. But one of our biggest game plans that we had to work on going into that game was that they didn't lapse in the pocket and not giving big lanes to escape out of, instead of just trying to do the normal pass rush that we do and then he has a chance to extend plays and get out there. So that was it was tough for us to accept, but we knew we had to do it to get a team the best chance to win.
Absolutely. So fast forward to this year's playoffs. I mean, this the Super Bowl that we have coming up is obviously a coming off a COVID year, a very unique season. Hats off to both the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for getting to this point. What are your thoughts in this game, and what do you think are some of the key matchups that these guys will be facing this week?
I think it's the defenses. We know we've got two great quarterbacks out there. You got Brady, who's the best that ever did it, and then you've got Mahomes, who's the biggest shining star, up, I don't even want to call him up and coming because, he's already done it. But um, a lot of points are going to be put up. And so we're going to have to see which defense can step up and make the most plays and get the most stops. I'm kind of interested to see, what Tampa's defensive line is able to do against Mahomes because, I think they have the better defense going into the game. But, Mahomes is a lot different from Brady. And Mahomes can extend plays and scramble and get out the pocket. So it's going to be interesting to see how that matchup comes.
No question. I mean, we just got an opportunity to see last weekend what that Tampa Bay defensive front was able to do against A-Rod and those guys, and that was without Bakdavari, who was a Pro Bowl All-Pro offensive left tackle. So, considering that Kansas City is going to be without Eric Winston, their offensive left tackle, who's also a Pro Bowler, how much of a factor do you feel like that's going to play into this game?
It could be huge. When I looked at the story, with Fish being out, it was a tough one because, he's a former Chippewa, he's CMU alumni, and so I definitely follow up on him. And, number one overall pick means so much to our school. And, your heart hurts for the kid, to make it all this way and then to go out and not be able to finish the season. But I think that, they're going to have some people step up. People are going to have to step into that spot. And you've only got to do it for one game. So whatever needs to be done, you got to do it for that one game, get that win. And then you can go, you can chill out, you can have a drink somewhere, and you can de-stress. But for this one game, you got to do it.
And we talk a little bit about somebody having to step up. That's what sports are about, football particularly, next man up type of situation. When you guys got the chance to play in the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh, that was kind of the same situation. Do you recall some of those guys that kind of stepped up and made plays for you in that game and that season along that way to help you guys get to that win?
Yeah, it was. Like you said, we had a lot of people that had to step up because we had a lot of injuries. On the defensive side, one of the biggest injuries we had was when Nick Barnett went out. Who was the leader of the defense, middle linebacker. Desmond Bishop came in. He stepped up big time for us. And I think that one of the more amazing things about the team that year was just how many guys that, were able to come into the organization that we brought in from off the street, to eat. And, people stepped up, they fit into the organization. I think that that speaks a lot about, the atmosphere at Green Bay and just how, how it's a winning organization. And when you come in there, you kind of learn from all of the people who are there, how to be a professional, how to act, how to perform in the field and deal with your team.
Mm-hmm. I get it, man. And then once you got things rolling, a lot of times you bring those guys along, especially if you have a performing quarterback like you guys had in A-Rod, like both these teams have in both Mahomes and of course Brady. So you just kind of get on the bus and you kind of keep rolling, man. But it's kind of the way it works. But leading up to it, man, the week of is so different than any other week. Like you have to be able to manage so many different things. You talked a little bit about media day and all that kind of stuff. What do you do and what were you able to do to kind of refocus yourself when it came time for game? Because it's a media circus. There's so much hype. There's so much energy. There's so much buildup to that game. What did you do to kind of get yourself refocused during that week leading up to the game?
I think we did a good job of, one, our coaches talked to us a lot, kind of prepared us for what to expect and how we were going to do things. When we first got down there, the first half of the week, up until like Thursday, they also did a great job of kind of letting us, experience the atmosphere, but, we also had, curfews, but the curfews were later, but they allowed us to experience it. And I believe the goal that we really had was, once Thursday night comes, then, we're focused on the game from that point on. We were able to balance everything else, family, just experiencing the whole Super Bowl feel. But we knew that when Thursday came, all of that stuff, was out to, and it was over with. We were focusing straight in the game from that moment on. And I think we did a great job being able to do that.
Having the routine is probably the biggest key. What do you think, man, considering, and I'll let you go here in a little bit after the next few, but considering Kansas City was in this situation last year, they repeat, obviously, AFC champs, and in this position again, how big of a factor do you think the experience of being in the game last year helps Kansas City as opposed to Tampa Bay, who hasn't been in the playoffs, hasn't been to a Super Bowl in how many years? How big of a factor do you feel like the experience of the game itself and the week leading up to plays a role in the success of the winner of the game?
Well, I'll put it like this. If Kansas City hadn't been to the playoffs last year, I don't think they would have a chance against Brady, because just the fact of being in that position and looking across the field and seeing number 12 standing there, it's just, it's intimidating. It's an intimidating thing, for them. But seeing as though they've been there last year and they won it, now they're going into it like veterans. And they're going to get in there, and I feel like they're going to be a lot more comfortable. Yeah, it's still going to be the wow factor that, you got Brady across the field from you. But I think that they're going to have the experience to be able to settle in and go, punch for punch with them.
All right. So conversely, James. So now Tampa Bay, they haven't been to the playoffs or the Super Bowl in some years. How does that play a factor for them playing against, the defending Super Bowl champs in Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, they're going to have to rely on their veteran players. They're going to have to rely on, you got Brady, obviously, who's got like more Super Bowl games, everyone combined. But
right.
They're rely on players like Brady, Jason Pierre-Paul, Dominican Stu, your older veteran players who do have some of that experience. And they're going to have to, look to those guys for experience, guidance, keep, the team together, keep them on track, not let them get, distracted with everything going on through the week, especially with them being, at home. So going to have to learn how to balance that, because usually you get away Super Bowl week, you get away, isolate you from some of the distractions, maybe things, that being at home, families, all of that. And so they're going to have to try to balance that as well.
Yep, I agree. It's such a unique situation, being that you're a home team for the Super Bowl. That's such a unique situation, but it has to play a positive role for them as well, being that they're going to be kind of the same game week routine as a home game. So positive and that. Be interested to see. Final thoughts, Jenks, man. What's your thoughts? What's your final score, and how do you think the game's gonna play
out? You know what? I'm going to go with it'll be a high score game. I give it 31-28 Tampa.
Okay. Anybody specific that sticks out, that shines, an underdog story, somebody that you think that you got your eye on that's gonna be make the difference in the game?
Well, I'm watching the D-line. One of my boys, my former teammates, JPP. He's having an amazing year. I was in New York with him when he had that unfortunate accident. But to be able to monitor and see his career and how he's overcame that adversity, has always kind of been, a good story and something that I've enjoyed watching. So, him and the defensive line, I'm watching them this game. I want to see what they can do.
It's going to be an interesting game, to say the least, and he's going to be a factor, and I agree with you on that. I'm interested to see how this whole thing shakes out. Again, everybody, I'm Colin Cole. Thanks again, Cullen Jenkins, for joining us today on ADSN. Take care.
All right, thanks for having me, man. Talk to you later.